Let's face it, when you think of good, smart, socially conscious cinema, horror is the last thing that comes to mind.
He's looking at you, kid.
The genre is practically synonymous with mutilation, mindless violence, and gore. People have even tried to blame violent crimes on its influence, saying movies like the 1988 cult classic Child's Play were to blame.
Don't you blame the movies! Movies don't create psychos! Movies make psychos more creative!
But does the genre really deserve its bad rap, or is horror smarter than you think? Welcome to Watch Mojo. Before we get started, be sure to check out Watch Mojo's magazine of the 75 most influential horror films of all time. First things first, there's no definitive proof that horror causes people to act uncharacteristically violent. Much like the link between video games and aggression, there's been nothing concrete that says people who watch horror movies are more likely to commit crimes. One study from Mount Sinai Hospital found that people who were already aggressive by nature were more likely to get worked up by horror films, but naturally passive and non-violent people didn't experience this phenomena. In fact, research has actually found watching horror to be good for people. Yep, that's right. There are genuine health benefits that come with being scared out of your mind.
Yeah, that's right, Einstein.
Horror triggers our fight or flight response. And while this used to be helpful for our ancestors who depended on this to survive, it just gives us a rush of adrenaline. This gets our heart pumping faster, gives our body more oxygen, and sends us into overdrive. Although the fight or flight response isn't normally something we like, since it means we're in danger, we need to experience it in a safe environment, like at a movie theater. The brain also releases dopamine when we're scared, which is responsible for pleasure and hella addictive, which is why people keep coming back for more. It also gives people a safe way to face their fears, and therein lies the key to why horror's actually a lot smarter than you might realize. It's an easily accessible, popular, fun way to deal with, talk about, and even criticize the scary world around us. Take the 1979 movie Alien, for example. While you might be watching it because you're a fan of survival horror, space, Sigourney Weaver, and, well, aliens, the movie is a parable about sexual assault. Everything from the aliens to the ship look like male genitalia, and the aliens attack the crew of the ship violently, forcing their way into their bodies with the aim of impregnating them. And while you might not believe us, writer Dan O'Bannon said in the 2002 documentary The Alien Saga, "I'm gonna put in every image I can think of to make the men in the audience cross their legs. Homosexual oral rape, birth, the thing lays its eggs down your throat, the whole number." Yeah. But Alien isn't the only horror movie to explore very real fears about life on the silver screen. George Romero's Night of the Living Dead acts as a commentary on the senseless violence that happened during the war in Vietnam, while looking at racial tension in the States.
Good shot. Okay, he's dead. Let's go get him. That's another one for the fire.
Something Jordan Peele's Get Out would also do nearly 50 years later as it examines liberal racism in America.
No. No. No, 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 no.
Dracula plays off the idea of danger that comes with sexual liberation and exploration, while also playing off people's fears of immigration at the time. Transylvania isn't sending their best. Rosemary's Baby is about controlling women and regulating their bodies. Godzilla plays off the fear of nuclear arms, with the monster being symbolic of the atomic bombs that decimated Hiroshima and Nagasaki during World War II. And Ginger Snaps takes a look at female sexuality and empowerment through a werewolf feminist coming-of-age narrative. And this is just a handful of the horror movies out there.
Are you sure it's just cramps? Just so you know, the words just and cramps, they don't go together.
Not only is horror socially conscious, it's also often highly aware of itself and the parameters of the genre. Take the movie Scream, which you can learn more about here, and how it flipped horror on its head. Written by Kevin Williamson and directed by A Nightmare on Elm Street creator Wes Craven, the movie is essentially a giant middle finger to the horror industry of the 90s. It took the all-too-familiar conventions audiences were used to and built a self-referential by-the-book slasher that still managed to be scary.
There are certain rules that one must abide by in order to successfully survive a horror movie.
Tucker and Dale vs. Evil follows two hillbillies at a backwoods cabin who, despite being there to renovate their dream vacation home, are mistaken as serial killers by a group of paranoid teens.
Ah, we got your friend!
Oh God! They got Allison!
Although the movie can be a little too in your face at times, there's no denying it's a hilarious play on classics like the Texas Chainsaw Massacre and Friday the 13th. And let's not forget 2012's The Cabin in the Woods, which is a brilliantly executed meta-horror film in its own right. It uses the conventions of the genre, like having sex, doing drugs, checking out the strange noise in the spooky cellar, and splitting up to mess with viewers. It's comedy, it's horror, and it's a clever deconstruction of these film tropes, not to mention a wonderful throwback to The Evil Dead. So next time someone lays into you for liking senseless violence or comments on your taste in film, just remind them that there's more to horror than meets the eyes.
Hail to the king, baby.
Check out these other great clips from WatchMojo and subscribe for new videos every day.